All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good evening and welcome to the Monday, July 22nd Administrative and Public Works Committee. My name is Alderman Rayther. We have a quorum. Is there an approval to pass the July 8th, 2019 minutes?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Seeing no lights, all those in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. All right. Next item is public comments. We have 3 speakers who have signed up. The first person is Mr. Alan Feuerstein. Thank you, sir.
Hello, thank you.
3 minutes.
I'm here to talk about issue A5, the street cleaning signage. Okay, I've been kind of focused in on that
Sure.
recently. I thank the aldermen and the city council for really looking at this quite seriously and quickly. I know we brought it up a few weeks ago, and I see that there's a proposal, I guess, for action. And I'm glad that, we're seriously considering that. I know there's, according to the report from the city staff, there were 10,250 street cleaning fines in 2 months, from April 1st to July 7th. So that's 10,000. That's almost $268,000, which indicates that there is serious lack of signage is one of the problems. What I saw with the proposal that certain things were going to be done, and I had 2 issues with the proposal. They were going to look at the blocks that had the most fines and look at that first and try to complete additional signs by 2019. I did drive around and biked around actually, looked at a lot of those blocks, and I think that additional signs have already been put up. I'm not sure if they reported that, but it seemed like there were additional signs. I know in my neighborhood I saw a couple extra. But the blocks are 600 feet blocks. That's 2 football fields. And from what I can read, the proposal is to put one sign in the middle, which would be 300 feet separation. That's 1 football field separation between the first sign, the middle sign, and the last sign. And I felt that having 1 football field separation with a sign that has small fonts, a lot smaller than the regular 2-hour parking sign limit signs, as I demonstrated earlier, is not sufficient. So I wanted you to look at that maybe there should be additional signs. There's still too much separation. So I was hoping to consider 2 additional signs besides the one at the beginning and the end. That way, there may be 50-yard separation. So somebody walks 50 yards, half a football field. Okay, so that was one thing. Second thing was the implementation schedule. According to the schedule submitted by the staff, they're talking about 3 years to put up new signage. I don't know if you read through the proposal. First phase would be finished by 2019, which was to put signs on blocks with 30 or more tickets. There were blocks that had 100 tickets. And I noticed some of that was done. It didn't give me a time limit, so I hope I'm within a time. About how much more?
3 minutes, and you're about 15 seconds left, so let's wrap it up.
Okay, well, the second session, section 2 and 3 was to be completed by 2020, and section 1 and 2 was by 2021. That's 3 years, and certainly the aldermen that have wards in section 1 and 2 will have a lot of explaining why their wards are the last ones after 2 years and maybe a lot more tickets. So I think there's a political issue here. So my recommendation is faster implementation, a little more signage, and maybe you consider a moratorium on street fines until you get the signs up and make it fair. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alderman Rainey, I saw your light on. Is that not in response to comment?
Oh,
but
right, I forgot. I'm just really pepped up about these signs.
ready to talk about it. All right.
So you're ready to
Okay,
talk
we'll
about
talk about it
Thank
when
you.
we come
Okay,
to
well,
Yes,
thank
when we
you. I
come
hope
to
I
the
made
item.
sense, and I appreciate
You
your
did.
time to listen to me.
Thank you very much for your comments, sir. All right, our next speaker, Mr. James Engel. You have 3 minutes, sir.
Okay, I've got it down, sir. I'd like to thank the city council for putting up buying those picnic benches in Triggs Park for the disabled people. I saw him. I like him very much. The second one, I think you should buy the grader because another grader in case the other one breaks down. So that's all I'm going to say. Thank you very much.
The man of very choice words. Thank you very much, Mr. Engelman.
Can I take his time? No, I'm just kidding.
No. And in
no,
fact,
no.
we'll reset. And since we're an equitable group, we're going to give you 3 minutes, just like everyone else.
Thank you. I was just kidding. I just wanted to echo that. I was at Over the Rainbow the other day at 2040 Brown, and I do a school project every year with 10 residents at Over the Rainbow, and we were having a picnic under the shelter across the street, and nobody in wheelchairs could get under the benches. And so Jim, our great citizen here, brought it to Alderman Robin Simmons, and I think then Dave Stonebeck, Director Stonebeck, and his team removed it. And I just, I don't know, I just wanted to say thank you. It just seemed like that worked. And I love that people at Over the Rainbow can go and have a picnic now and be connected in their community in that way. And so I just wanted to, Alderman Braithwaite introduced Alderman Simmons to some of the folks at Over the Rainbow, and I just want to, that's an important place in our community a lot. When we make things right for those residents, it works for everybody. So just a great example of that, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and I want to thank you very much for just your efforts in planning such a wonderful event. I mean, it's always great and inspiring to see residents work together on such a wonderful cause. So thank you for all that you do.
You're referring to a wheelchair wash. We had a wheelchair
yeah.
wash this weekend and cleaned. We had about 50 people out
Yeah.
cleaning wheelchairs. It was good. Thank you.
Always is. Thank you. All right. Seeing no other comments. What did I do with that? It's hiding it. We'll move on to the payroll item A1. Alderman Rainey, would you like to take those two items?
Oh, okay. Yes. Let's see, payroll. Let's see. So we're going to do the bills. Sorry. Payroll A1, June 24, 2019 through July 7, 2019. This is for action. $3,181,565.61. I recommend we move council approval. And you want me to do the bills list?
Yeah, just go ahead and take the two items together.
All right. The bills list, A2, July 23rd, 2019. BMO credit card activity for the period ending May 26 in the amount of $6,858,748.21. The credit card activity, let's see, I'm not quite getting this. Okay, credit card activity of that amount is $191,471,048, excluding the Amazon credit card activity. Okay. So I move approval, but I have some questions.
Sure. Is there a second? Oh, sorry.
Sure, a second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. Alderman Rainey, your questions
Yes, I have some questions. Okay, so,
from the bills list?
yes, yes, I
Okay.
do. Let me just see. This is minor, but there was a meeting held, and I think it's really important. Alderman Fleming held a meeting, and I wish I was there. You were there, so maybe you can answer the question. How many people came to that meeting? It was a general assistance meeting. Wish I had known about it. I would have come. Think it was a good idea. Have no problem with the amount of money that was spent on it.
Okay.
Thought it was minimal. So I'm just curious how you have these meetings and we don't all know about it. Maybe everybody did and I didn't get the memo.
So I'll tell you, the staff person you'd want to connect with is Indira, and it was something that, yeah. So I connected with Indira. It's just something that I personally wanted to do. I have several residents that are on the program, and just going into the season, I just wanted
I mean,
to,
I have a really long history with
yeah,
the township, and I'm
Yeah.
really sorry I didn't know about it.
Yeah, it's-
How do
and
we
just-
find out about these meetings?
And so, before you speak, if I can finish my explanation, so it wasn't something that was published, I actually sought them out, because I have residents who I'm in touch with, and I'm sure just like you, so I think as long, you just reach out to Indira, and she'll let you know the
How would
schedule.
you know to reach out that there was going to be a meeting that you didn't know about? Just so, tell me all about it.
Again, just because I don't want to put you on the spot, it
Yeah,
was
well,
something
from now on,
that,
tell us about them.
yes, it
before
was
they happen.
something that I specifically reached out for.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
Let's hear from somebody
All
who
right.
knows.
Good day, members of the committee. Ike Ogbo, Interim Director, Health and Human Services Department. And as Alderman Braithwaite indicated, it was a meeting that they requested to meet with our GA participants to see how the program is going, if they have any questions or they have any concerns regarding the program. So it was a meeting that they sought out. And you can also, request for a meeting in the future if you want to, see how our participants are enjoying the program and if there are any concerns. So it was a meeting that was organized at the request of
Was
the
it a
aldermen.
large attendance?
Yeah, we had about 30 to 35 participants.
See, I don't want to drag people out again.
Okay. All right. So in the future, Alderman Rainey, you can make that request, and we can organize a meeting. And it was just a meeting just to state if there are any concerns about the GA program, of
So
which.
I would like a report on the meeting so that I don't have to drag everybody out in the next month.
Okay.
Because I'm sure the concerns probably would reflect what happened at the meeting. Maybe there would be improvements. So could you give us a rundown on what happened at the meeting? Maybe
So-
everybody would like to know.
So I
Absolutely.
don't know if Ike was there, but I do plan on, so after I attended the first meeting, some of the feedback and the questions that were asked were right around like 311 and just basic questions that could be answered by someone going online. So if you would like, the next time I meet with them, and again, my whole reason for doing this is just going into budget season, I'd like to understand how the services are received from the end user. So I'm more than happy to invite you or provide a report, whatever your desire is.
I would be glad if you would invite me, but I'd just like to know about it
Done.
so I can decide if I want to go myself.
Understood.
But I would like a report on the meeting and how,
Absolutely.
yeah, that'd be good.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Also, this business with Copenhagen, they're the ones who did the Fountain Square, aren't they? How many, were they hired for Gibbs Morrison before we hired them for Copenhagen? Before
is
we
that?
hired them for Fountain Square or vice versa?
Is that Dave or Lara? I see Lara making her way.
Members of the committee, my name's Laura Biggs. I'm the city engineer. So Fountain Square was awarded, and just a few months later, Gibbs Morrison was awarded, and we were not yet involved in any issues with Fountain Square, so it was not clear that it was something that we should not be doing.
All right, I see. So you found out there were issues while both projects were going on?
Yes.
Were there problems with both projects? I mean, we
No.
know about one project.
No, Gibbs Morrison actually went pretty well, and it had a different project manager or site superintendent from Fountain Square Fountain Square, and the contractor performed acceptably on Gibbs
All
Morrison.
right, that's good to know. All right, thank you. All right, that's it for now. Thank
All
you.
right. Any other questions or concerns pertaining to the bills list? Seeing none. It's been properly moved and seconded. Items A1 and A2, all those in favor of passing, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
We've passed over Amazon for later.
Yes. Thank you for the clarification. Alderman Sufferton, would you like to take us through the consent agenda, paying attention to the dollar amounts for each
Sure.
item, please?
All right, I move item A4, which is approval of the purchase of 3 Public Works Agency vehicles from Coons Country Ford of Antioch and Napleton Fleet Group in the amount, let's see, let's start with the first one. The Ford SUVs will be purchased from Coons Country Ford of Antioch for a total amount of $55,800.30. Minivan will be purchased from Napleton Fleet Group in the amount of $23,000 and $23,290. Two dealerships have requested make and models, colors, and stock for immediate delivery to the city and the lowest competitive prices. Item A6, approval of contract for 2019 alley improvements, Contract B, and 2019 CDBG park improvements with Schroeder and Schroeder Incorporated in the amount of $1,536,120.95. That's for action. Item A7, approval of the emergency repairs to grader vehicle number 683 by Altor 4 CAT. And this is in the amount of $57,689.19. That's for action. Item A8 is approval of payment to support the ongoing efforts of Evanston Cradle to Career in the amount of $50,000. Item A10 is a one-year sole source agreement renewal with Dell EMC Inc. for VMware support and licensing in the amount of $35,828.22. Item A12 is resolution 80R19 authorizing the city manager to execute an amendment to the contract with Alacrity Inc. for the city's cashiering system to change the vendor and add a monthly minimum payment. Funding from the personal computer software account with a budget of $61,000, of which $57,698.24 is remaining. And that is it.
Thank you. Alderman Rainey,
I know this is the consent agenda. Could I just add one little thing?
please.
Right. Could I just point out, and I know those of us who are on CD know this, but the Community Development Block Grant is committing to remove from the bonding and from the general fund $739,000 and plus for alley improvements, park improvements, et cetera, on A6.
Yes.
So that's a big contribution, and we
Yes.
always say that the CDBG money tries to help wherever it can.
Right.
And so I think we should all be very proud of that. And
Thank you
thanks to HUD.
Thank you for raising that issue. So we've had a motion to move the consent agenda. I'm looking for a second.
Second,
It's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of passing the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Right. You ready to go? Madam Simmons? Ready to go?
Yes.
We'd like to take the first item, A5, excuse me, pardon me, I'm sorry, A3. Under 5,
Yes.
thank you.
Items for consideration. A3, BMO Harris Amazon credit card activity in the amount of $11,164.52, excuse me, that's for action.
second,
It's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? One abstention, perfect. Item A5 is street cleaning signage. Staff recommends the city council authorize the city manager to have additional street cleaning signs installed mid-block locations based on the number of tickets issued for violation of the street cleaning parking restrictions. Blocks longer than 600 feet up to 10 locations, and this was requested by aldermen within their ward. Is there a second?
Second.
second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Alderman Rainey?
Now, could you clarify how long a football field is?
100 yards.
Feet?
100 yards.
300 feet. So, 300 feet. So we're talking about, there was just an analysis, comparative analysis between the distance between signs and 3 football fields, is that correct?
If it's 600 feet, it would be 2.
2. I'd just like to report that all of the orange signs are up on Hull Terrace today for Tuesday, Wednesday street cleaning. And all of the cars have been moved already from the Tuesday street cleaning side.
Seeing, it's all right, it's all right.
Dave, since you're up there, You heard Mr. Furstein's concerns. Do you have anything to say? I mean, you think can you explain why we got to phase it in the way we're going to? And you heard his comments, correct?
Yes, I did. So funding is one issue for the actual signs, manpower being another issue. And the third issue for the scheduling is that council approved the shifting of street cleaning days from Wednesday, Thursday to Tuesday, Wednesday. And we were doing one zone each year, so we already completed zones 3 and 4. That's why we feel we can address those next year. And then in the next 2 years, we're going to be switching zones 1 and 2, which is why we're not recommending to put additional signage up, since then we would have to change that additional signage that we put up.
Okay.
And then before 2017, it was a city standard just to have 3 signs in a block, one at the beginning, one at the alley, and then one at the end. And in 2017, the thought was to reduce the amount of signage that was out there, and so the mid-block signs came down. And now we're looking at areas where we believe that they should be put back up, where there's a high amount of tickets, and then on the very long blocks. I would think that a lot of these already have that additional signage mid-block. You could put more signs up if you want, but I think the more signs you put up, the more signs won't be read. I think it's for the driver to be cognizant of when there's street cleaning that occurs in every city. And when you park, you should try to find out when that cleaning is, especially you pull up and nobody else is parked in that block. That might be a big hit. I know one of the areas where we had somebody complain about parking on Noy Street and they got a ticket. Noy Street in the business district is cleaned at night so that we don't interfere with the business parking during the day. So I believe they were concerned about the area from an alley just west of Sherman Avenue to Sherman Avenue, which is only 200 feet long. And there was a sign at the alley and there was a sign just before Sherman. So even having them only 200 feet apart, if the people aren't looking for them or trying to notice them, you can still get a ticket.
Okay.
So it's our opinion that more signs won't actually help, that drivers have to be aware of the regulations and check the signs.
Okay. And just to be clear, your goal is clean streets. The parking part is not your responsibility.
That's correct. Putting up the signs falls under Public Works, under the Traffic Division of the Public Service Bureau.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Alderman Rainey?
Well, actually, my goal is to get clean streets. That's really my goal. And I just think, especially south end of town, I think clean streets equal a nice neighborhood. Really, it is. And it just infuriates me when I see one block all clean and another block all dirty. And it just really, really upsets me to see people clean out their car into the street. I just don't understand it, especially when there are city cans all up and down the parkway. So it seems to me that people have some responsibility here. We have signs on the parkway. I know people can't remember. It's complicated to remember the 4th Tuesday and Wednesday. It's complicated to remember whatever the other zones are. That's the zone I remember. Do we know how many text messages we send out? We've got to know how many we send out. And I'm curious.
I'm assuming the city does. I myself.
No, you don't. I know you don't know. So
and you get
that would
emails,
be
you
good
get text
to know.
messages.
And we know that, I hear people say all the time that not everybody has a cell phone. Well, I'm getting ready to start challenging that notion, because everybody I see has a cell phone stuck at their face. Not everybody has a computer. That I probably would believe. Not everybody has that. It seems to me that to somehow notify people by some way, and I understand we can't put these signs up all at once. I think that is a lot. But I do think the city could do something like I'm doing, and I'm trying to encourage my residents to do, is to put these paper signs up. It's once a month. It takes no time at all. And I know that's not the final answer, because they, if it rains, they fall down. But I just think we all have a responsibility here. I mean, how hard is it to remember once a month? And we've just got to encourage people, and I agree. I mean, I have seen people park right in front of the sign, not move their car, the pole signs.
And I agree, and I appreciate our goal is to clean the streets, and there are some blocks in southeast Evanston specifically where we do go out, and I shouldn't say it's only there, but we go out and we do add the signs. We don't do it every street
No,
cleaning.
no, I know.
But we make sure we get down every block at least once a year, because there's some blocks where people won't move, and then we will tow if they don't move on those
And
occasions.
there is another problem. There are some neighborhoods where there's no place to put your car.
And I agree with that, too.
People really have no place to put their car.
It's very challenging,
And
yes.
they do argue, and the more less able they are, they can't find a place to put their car. They can't walk that far. Even if there is, like, St. Francis would gladly let you put your car there. But if you live 4 blocks away, you can't get there from here. So I get that in some cases. But those probably aren't the people getting the ticket. I don't think the sign is going to make a difference.
Yeah. And I jump on the tail. I mean, there's a really good map on page, what page is that?
89.
89. I mean, I guess if I was to call it out, I mean, it's closer to the lakefront.
Yeah.
And I guess if I'm looking at this, seems like the residents in the 2nd, 5th, and 8th ward all understand how to read signs, and there's a concentration in the other wards. So I was part of the city council.
And somewhat around Northwestern
Yeah.
University as well.
So, I mean, again, it's right there in the packet. So, I mean, I'll prioritize the signs in 2nd ward based on 311 reports and complaints. Otherwise, I think with the relief that we provided 2 weeks ago from the parking, I hope that this will bring this from a 10 somewhere down to a 3.
And I think with the improvements suggested, with the
Yeah.
the additional signs that we recommended, I think that will help address, some of the issues as well.
Agreed. So Alderman Rainey, to answer your question, there's anywhere from between 2,000 all the way up to 5,000 text messages that are sent regarding street cleaning, and out of those text messages that are sent, you have a plus 90% hit rate received. So that is working, and any effort that we can do to increase that,
We need to increase that.
sure. Maybe we can have something we can send out in our newsletters.
We'll work on another notice to pass around, yes.
I appreciate that. All right, seeing no other lights and to keep us moving, all those in favor of, what is that? That's for action. Please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Alderman Rainey, item A9.
A9. Special event contract. All right, this is, staff's recommending approval of a contract for the City of Evanston and Space at 1245 Chicago Avenue to host a concert series called Out of Space on 4 evenings from August 8th through 11 at the Canal Shores Golf Course, 1030 Central Street. Move approval.
Second.
It's been probably moved and seconded. All those in favor of passing item A9, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item A11, Alderman Suffredin.
Sure. Item 11 is Resolution 71R19, authorizing this one. All right. Authorization to execute memorandum of understanding with Northwestern University for beach access and use at Lincoln Street Beach. Staff recommends that the city council accept this memorandum and place on file.
Second.
It's been probably moved and seconded. Alderman Rainey.
Yes. Is Lawrence here, or Karen Lawrence? Is the city manager here? City manager. Could you please explain the rules regarding our beaches. I've gotten numerous letters saying that we should make Lincoln Beach, like all our other beaches, open 24 hours a day and free to the public, which that is not the case.
And that's not the case. No, our beaches along with our parks close at 9 o'clock. And I think the issue that was raised with the MOU with Northwestern was a different set of times for access to the beachfront, separate from the water. In our discussions, as you recall, the council had an active conversation on this matter at your last meeting. We shared those issues with the university, and at that time, the university declined to make those changes, looking toward further discussions with the Illinois Department of Natural Resources on the beach. So that is the reason we've come forward, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, to receive and file. So the beach will be operated as it has been for the remainder of the summer until Labor Day. I have finally been able to have a meeting, excuse me, a meaningful conversation as of today with representatives of the Department of Natural Resources in Springfield. Have a much clearer understanding of where they are at with this issue. First and foremost, they said that the beach belongs to the state of Illinois. That as far as they are concerned, that has never been an issue. And if there's some miscommunication or misunderstanding with the university, they intend to work with us to convey to the university that IDNR believes it is the state's beach. And I think, as has been discussed, the beach was created through changes in the lake. The state claims lake bottom, and the state believes that that beach was prior lake bottom, and so consequently belongs to the citizens of the state of Illinois. So what the state has proposed is an intergovernmental agreement between the city of Evanston and the state of Illinois for the operation of the beach. Clearly, Northwestern will need to be, if not a party to the agreement, certainly involved in future discussions with IDNR on this. IDNR has also identified some plant species that they are concerned about adjacent to the beach, and so there will be language in any intergovernmental agreement regarding the conservation of those plant species nearby. So I expect to get a draft intergovernmental agreement from the state in the next several days, and once we receive it, we'll be able to discuss it further with them as well as Northwestern. The reality is that the beach is bounded by Northwestern property on a couple of sides, and so the university will have to be a party to this. I spoke with Dave Davis this morning from the university. The university is waiting, I think, to hear from IDNR further, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Seeing no.
They're going to give us a communication to this.
I think what will happen, and the Department of Natural Resources staff indicated they wanted to loop in the university, so I made sure, Ms. Mason Cup and I made sure that we gave appropriate contacts at the university to the staff attorney in Springfield for IDNR. So as that document is shared with us, it will also be shared with the university, and we will continue to discuss that. But in the meantime, the beach will continue to operate as it has operated this summer, at least through Labor Day, when all city beaches, access to the water closes, and we'll go from there.
Excellent.
Excellent.
So at this point, Mr. Chair, we're asking that the MOU be received and filed.
Got it.
We get a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Seeing no further lights for discussion. All those in favor to accept and place this on file, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item A13, Alderman Simmons.
A13, staff recommends city council adoption of resolution 68R19, authorizing city manager to execute the 2019 agreement with Youth Job Center of Evanston to provide not less than 20 disconnected and unemployed young adults who are low to moderate income Evanston residents between 18 and 25 years old with a career pathway plan that leads to educational work, trade, certification, employment, supportive services, career counseling, educational support, and transportation assistance over 24 months in the amount not to exceed $55,200 for fiscal year 2019. This is for action.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Seeing no lights, all those in favor of passing item A13, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Item A14 is Resolution 69-R-19. It's the professional services agreement with the James Moran Center for the 2019 Certificate of Rehabilitation Program. Our staff is recommending the City's Council adopt the resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement between the City of Evanston and the James Moran Center for Youth Advocacy to provide legal services not less than 15 residents to secure certificates of rehabilitation, expungement, and criminal record sealing in the dollar amount not to exceed $30,000. And that funding agreement is budgeted out of the Parks and Recs Youth and Services Division, and there's a budget of $231,965 with a remaining balance of $196,596.16. Basically, it's $2,000 per participant. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. What,
Any-
did you get a second?
Oh,
I second it.
seconded by Alderman Simmons.
So you made the motion, right?
I made the motion. Thank you. And we'll just call again. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Thank you. Alderman Rainey, item A15.
A15 is James Park renovation with an USLED grant application. Staff is recommending the adoption of 81R19, authorizing the manager to submit a grant application for state funding through open space land acquisition and development. It is called the USLED grant, to the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, IDNR, for the James Park renovation project. Funding is 2020 general obligation bond. It's a matching grant, $400,000. IDNR grant is $400,000, total of $800,000. I move approval.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Seeing no lights for discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Alderman Sufferton, item A16.
Item A16 is Resolution 79R19, authorizing the city to file a grant application with the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago's Green Infrastructure Project Partnership for funding parking lot improvements. Staff recommends City Council adoption of Resolution 79R19, authorizing the city manager to file a grant application with the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago Green Infrastructure Project Partnership for the paving of parking lot 25 at 1614 Maple, utilizing permeable paver blocks. The application establishes the maximum grant funding at 60% of the construction cost and commits Evanston to fund 40% of the construction cost, or $52,000. The total estimated cost of construction for eligible work will be $130,000, with MWRD paying for 60% and the City of Evanston paying for 40%. City share of $52,000 will be paid out of the sewer fund, which has $100,000 budgeted in fiscal year in 2019 for stormwater management. Additional funding of up to $50,000 may be needed to pay for associated ineligible project costs, such as lighting improvements. This funding will need to be designated from general obligation bonds or the parking fund for action.
Second.
All right. I'm so,
Your light's not on.
did you want to speak to something on that?
A question?
Okay, Alderman Rainey.
Why can't I figure out where that is? And is that at the bank?
What is your point?
Where is the parking lot?
Okay.
It's across the street from Sesh Station between Davis and Church.
Oh, I know where that is. Okay. I just. I'm sorry.
You all right? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, we'll keep it moving. Alderman Simmons, item A7, please. Yeah, I thought, okay. I'm sorry. We're all just, slow it down. Item A16, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carry it. Item A17, Alderman Rainey, would you like to read this one?
Sure. A17. A17 is a resolution concerning a public meeting to be conducted as required by the Tax Increment Allocation Redevelopment Act to expand the boundaries of the Howard Ridge Tax Increment Financing District. it's a resolution that would allow for, let me see, conducting a public meeting for the purpose of enabling the city to advise and seek comment about the city's intent to prepare a redevelopment plan and to designate a redevelopment project area. The meeting, let's see, the meeting is open to the public. Staff is required to invite the taxing districts having real property in the proposed revised redevelopment project area, the taxpayers who own property in the proposed revised redevelopment project area, and the residents in the area. I mean, that's written, taken.
We got the gist.
Anyway, I move approval. It's a resolution requiring a meeting prior to action.
Thank you for the
Thank
summary.
you.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Seeing no further lights for discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
The motion carries. I'd like to move item A18 for introduction. It's ordinance 76-0-19, amending various sections of the City Code, Section 3-4-9, which is our city liquor code. The Liquor License Commissioner recommends City Council adoption of the ordinance amending the various sections of our city code, updating the definitions of combination, updating the definitions of, the combination of restaurant, package store in the university area, adding the definition of commercial recreation facility, and number 3, changing the location restriction and fees associated with the Class 5 license. Also amending the Class W license to permit alcohol sale at outdoor recreational facilities. And then 5, removing the Class X license as the same activities are now included in the definition of the commercial recreation facility. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Alderman Rainey, you have a comment or question?
Well, I mean, I know this isn't issuing any licenses, but I thought this was very confusing.
Yeah, well,
and
I was,
probably not really clear to a lot of people. I just wish he had done this separately
sure.
so that, I mean, I think I remember a couple of meetings we had,
Right.
especially about bennies.
Yeah.
When we were all sitting around the table going, wait, did we pass that?
Yeah.
And that had to do with those little teeny bottles
Yeah.
of alcohol going, wait, did we pass that? And there
Right.
it was, right there. We
Right.
all voted yes
Right.
to, and so I think someday we're going to go back and look at this and say, wait, did we pass that? And yes, we did. And so I don't like these omnibus bills where
No.
everything is in one pile.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I think, well, I agree with you, and every once in a while we see something like this. I'll ask our corporation counsel, Michelle, can you just kind of give us a high level of what we're trying to fix and
Sure.
resolve, just so we're all clear on what we're voting on, and
Sure.
if we need to get any more clarification, we have time to ask
Yeah.
for additional information. Thank
Good
you.
evening, Michelle Mason, Cup Corporation Counsel. This is actually directed by the Law Department because we make can you hear me? We would just make an ongoing list as we make revisions to the code of little cleanup changes. And so this is just a little cleanup changes that needed to be made. But one of these changes is addressing canal shores. And that's how the Class W and the Class X revisions. So 3 and 4 are related to that because we had to change the definition so that it encompassed canal shores operation. And then Class X was no longer needed. So that was removed. And then we noticed when we were going through the music venue class that it actually excluded the only music venue that we have. So that didn't make any sense to us. And so that's the second revision that you see. And then when we were doing the code update to the Welsh Rhine Arena, it occurred to us that the university area definition didn't include the Welsh Rhine Arena. And so it created the possibility that they could have other liquor activities and liquor licenses on the property. So we just needed to make sure that the definition included the U2 area.
See, I thought that should have been separate. Maybe not.
In the future, Alderman Rainey, we can make sure that these are separate ordinances, but this is actually driven by the Law Department. So we will take any pushback on that.
It is for introduction, Alderman Rainey. Do you have any specific changes?
And I support all the changes.
Sure.
Just
For clarification, point made. All right, seeing no further lights for discussion, all those in favor of passing item A18, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carry. Alderman Simmons, would you like to take us through item A19?
Yes, I would love to. Thank you for asking. A19, staff recommends City Council adoption of Ordinance 71-019, executing a cafe lease agreement with Lighthouse Evanston LLC for the city-owned property located at 1823 Church Street, otherwise known as Gibbs Morrison. The alderman and staff request suspension of the rules for introduction and action at the July 22nd, 2019 City Council meeting.
second.
Thank you.
Alderman Rainey, followed by Alderman Simmons.
Is Mr. Nance here?
Ms. Tanisha is here, who is the operator.
Okay. Well, I want to make an amendment to this,
Oh,
that I might not vote for this if we can't amend this to include that double cheeseburger that I saw in one of their ads.
Uh-oh.
Because that was the biggest, most beautiful sandwich that I ever saw.
working on it.
That,
All right.
the food just looks fabulous. But it was like about this big, and it had
Yes.
tomatoes.
That is the Hebrew burger, I believe.
The Hebrew burger?
Yes, with an egg and turkey bacon.
Ah, you've had it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, okay. I think you're going to be just fine. Alderman Simmons?
So thank you, Tanisha, for being here. And I could not be more excited. I can't imagine a more appropriate restaurant to join us at Gibbs Morrison. Having gone to your restaurants and experienced the culture and the service and the tastiness on the menu, and also your commitment to community, the service component, the mission component, where you are feeding the neighborhood, where you are employing the neighborhood, and where you are developing people, in addition to serving really delicious food. So it looks as good as, it tastes as good as it looks, I promise, yes.
Yes, it is.
So thank you for coming, and thank you for embracing Evanston and the time that you invested to learn more about the goals of the neighborhood that you would be joining. Thank you, and please share whatever you would like.
Okay, I'm Tanisha Ford. I will be franchising Lighthouse, and I'm also the general manager for all 6 of the restaurants. I know, right? So we have healthy food. That's one thing that we're, bringing to the community. All of our food is organic. My produce is fresh every day. Our meat is grass-fed. Our salmon is wild-caught. And on top of that, it's delicious and it's reasonable prices, for everyone. And we also specialize in vegan options as well. And our pizzas are gluten-free. Yep. Right. You want the burger? I'll make sure you get the burger, Alderman Bryan. I'll make sure you get it.
Congratulations in advance. There's a lot of excitement around your opening, so we're
Thank
going to get
you.
this passed and welcome you with open arms. All those in favor of passing item 19, please, and this is for introduction and action, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay.
Action carries.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Yay.
All right, Alderman Selford, will you take us home with item A20, please? It's also for intro and action.
Sure. Ordinance 72-019, decreasing the number of Class D liquor licenses for Falcon Eddie's LLC, DBA Falcon Eddie's Barbecue at 825 Church Street. It does not need one anymore.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Seeing no lights for discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carry it. Item 6, any items for discussion? Seeing none. Any items for communication? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Perfect. All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Okay, our meeting's adjourned. Our public, the Planning and Development Committee meeting,
We'll start in 5 minutes.
you just heard her. We'll start at 7 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you.